Welcome to Fangirl Diaries. This is your fangirl host with the most, Danny. And let's get into today's entry. Lilia. Do you like teen romance rom-coms?
No.
No? You've never watched one before?
I've watched them. I don't like them.
Why not?
Because they're annoying.
How are they annoying?
I don't know.
You're terrible at this, having a conversation. This is the first time you and I are actually close enough to the mics where they can hear you. You're not engaging in the conversation. Is it because of what I said about your man?
No.
Is it because you took my man?
No.
I want everyone to know this. She took my man. Tell them what you did, Lilia.
I posted a wallpaper of Jimin. Boo-hoo.
That's betraying girl code.
No, it's not.
That is fucked up. So Lilia, what are we doing today?
A teen movie.
A teen movie? What kind of teen movie?
A Netflix teen movie.
Yes, we are a Netflix rom-com. This is a really bad intro, but you know what? Whatever. We're doing To All the Boys I've Loved Before. All right, Lilia, ready for the synopsis? So I went on Wikipedia and there was like no synopsis, just the plot. So I had to like Google one, and this is a pretty decent one, I have to say, you know? So let's see. To All the Boys I've Loved Before follows shy high schooler Lara Jean Song-Covey, whose secret love letters to 5 past crushes are mysteriously mailed. To avoid awkwardness with her sister's ex-boyfriend, she enters a fake relationship with popular boy Peter Kavinsky. The pretend relationship turns real, forcing her to confront her true feelings. What'd you think?
Okay.
That's all I got. So I didn't realize this film came out in 2018. Did you know that?
I feel like it came out a year ago.
You know what I think it is? It's because we've gotten so much EXO Kitty stuff that like I sometimes forget that this movie and that one are like this in the same universe, but like also do know that it's in the same universe because they're such two different stories. And like obviously the Lara Jean character, I think she showed up in this past year's season of EXO Kitty, if I remember correctly. But, like, I didn't realize how, like, old this movie was until they showed that, like, there's a not a TikToker. Oh, my God. This is how old this is. There's a guy from Vine in this movie. Do you remember Vine? Who's basically, like, TikTok before TikTok, but shorter. And the only reason I recognize it is that this film was apparently produced by Awesomeness TV, which was, like, always producing these, like, weird movies with some of these, like, Vine actors here and there. And they did movies like that. I forget what this guy's name was, but he appeared in a bunch of the Babysitter movies, which is like a horror series about, you know, this babysitter this kid whose babysitter is apparently in a cult or something. I can't remember. So it was cute, the film. I was actually quite surprised. I've only ever read the first book. I've never read, there's like, so these 3 movies, I think there's 3 books. The EXO Kitty series, I'm surprised doesn't have novels. Like, I would be all into reading that one. I don't know. But it very much hinders, like, I will say this. There isn't, I think we've talked about this before, you and me, how there isn't a lot of, like, teen, like, when you look at all the teen films that have come out, a lot of them seem to hinder more on, like, adults than, like, teenagers. You know, we don't get any, like, when you look back in the day, we had, like, what, High School Musical, The Cheater Girls, if we want to go really in deep, like The Click. We had Mean Girls, but I feel like Mean Girls was more of a general audience type thing than just a teen thing. You know, J4 Magazine, Tiger Beat, those no longer are like existing publications anymore. There's nothing really for the teen girls out there. And I feel like this series, or at least this first movie, really hit in the right spot where it was needed. But what kind of sucks is that it didn't, in my opinion, open the doors for more stuff to go with it. Because, like, I watched the first season of EXO Kitty alongside watching this movie. And while it was very cute, I really feel like that wasn't giving teenage girl. It was giving, and I've seen people criticize this online, and I kind of agreed once I figured out what they were saying. It really gives off, instead of teen girl vibes, I feel like EXO Kitty is more Korea Boo vibes, if that makes sense. Because while, yes, I know Kitty is technically half Korean, like, they're all half Korean, she doesn't learn how to speak Korean at all. She goes to Korea, falls in love, blah, 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 right? It's very much beat for beat what most girls seem to think are going to happen to them when they go to Korea, right? Whereas to All the Boys I Loved Before feels very much like a romance. Like you have this girl who, you know, her mom is no longer there. It's just been her and her sisters and her dad. Her older sister's going off to college. So now she has to step up and be like the mom of the family in a sense, but not really. Like she has to be here for her sister. And it's not like, unlike other teen stories, her dad's never pressured her to kind of like be the mom of the family type of thing. Neither with the older sister. They kind of just take care of each other. But that's kind of what it is. It's like her realizing, I think this is not a big part of it, but it's kind of what I've seen in her taking care of always being around Kitty and being there and this awkwardness of it. And so she's always been in love with her sister's boyfriend. And she's very, you know what it is? I related to her. And I feel like if this film, 2018, I was like, how old was I when this came out? I was 22. If this had come out when if I had found these books earlier, I feel like I would have really consumed them. I would have been so obsessed with these books as a teenager because I very much see myself in Lara Jean and how she's very much a romantic. She's reading a lot of romance novels. You know, when she has crushes, these are intense crushes, right? So her thing is writing these letters to all, you know, boys that she has intense crushes on. And, you know, one of them having to be her older sister's ex-boyfriend, who I'm pretty sure they're only older by 2 years, which is why when they showed the sister, I was like, is she really dating someone 2 years younger than her? Doesn't really seem like a her thing, but whatever. I mean, that's why she grew out of it and broke up with him before she went off to college. But it's this whole thing of there've been so many things going on in her life. She doesn't have her mom around. It's really just been her family. They're well off, but she's obviously really awkward and she's a very sweet romantic. And I think that's what a lot of teenage girls need. Because the dating scene as an adult is sucks. It's terrible. It's all just dating apps and stuff. And I feel like we've exposed a lot of the teenagers to that. And I think Lara Jean is the perfect example of what teenage girls should be. Not this obsession with God, I don't know, sex and stuff like that. I don't. Oh, funny enough, at the end they talk about virginity. So sex is not a not teen conversation wise, but I feel like she's more of a normal teenage girl than most protagonists in some of these stories we see nowadays. It's kind of crazy. So she writes all these letters, and not to really spoil a movie that came out years ago, but it is fairly obvious that it was Kitty, her little sister, who sent out all the letters, which I want to point out, I love her explanation for it at the end, because she goes, well, I was kind of going by the odds of numbers, 5 letters, 5 chances for a boyfriend. You know what? I get her. I'm here for it. I will say, before we continue on in the main story, I understand why Kitty got her spinoff because she was the funniest character. She was really enjoyable in this film. I just feel like they kind of botched what they had after watching. I've only watched her. I'm halfway through the first season of XO Kitty, and I'm like, she's a very different character than what she was in the first film. It's Kitty times 10, but in a fun way. Because there were funny moments, literally there's a scene, so not to jump forward, but to jump forward because we're talking about Kitty specifically, where it gets exposed by Peter by accident that Lara Jean was in love with Josh, her sister Margot's ex-boyfriend, and Margot happened to be home from college, overheard it, and obviously was angry, right? So they're fighting, they're in their rooms, and then as this is happening, she's already distraught from all of this. It turns out that someone videotaped her and Peter in a hot tub during the ski trip they just went on, right? And apparently during the hot tub scene, I want to point out, I did kind of not pay attention during the scene. I think they just kiss. I don't think they actually... They didn't really have sex, but they have a moment, and it gets spread all over the internet, and she screams, and then they cut to the dining table where Kitty and their dad is sitting there, and Kitty just goes, "Women, am I right?" I just thought that was kind of funny. She's the funny little sister character. She wasn't as annoying as they typically make those types of characters, so it makes sense why she would get her own spinoff. I wonder how she's in the next 2 movies, especially because the older sister isn't as in it as those two. But I feel compared to and we're gonna do XO Kitty at some point. I don't know when, but at some point we'll do XO Kitty. It's 4 seasons, so that's a lot. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna get through all 3 of these movies, but I just feel like having watched that first season, they take the idea of Kitty being like this matchmaker to like not a fun place, where it just feels like she's so pushy and she over involves herself. Whereas with the LJ situation and her sending out those letters was like the bare minimum of what she did during the situation. Like the only other thing she did that could be considered like a crazy thing was her keeping the letters that Peter wrote to LJ during their fake relationship. And like, that's really, I think, all she did. She very much so really liked Peter and encouraged it, but like, it's not as how it is in XO Kitty, where she's physically like not seeing the full picture and pushing herself into other people's relationships, sometimes when it's not even really necessary. I don't know. That's just me. I kind of forget that Noah Centineo, I forget what his name is in this movie. I feel like I used to see him everywhere. It was like, you know what it is? It's him and Jacob Elordi. I used to see him and Jacob in like everything because they were both in the two like big Netflix rom-com movies. Because Noah Centineo, I think, can you look up what the next thing he's going to be in? Because I feel like he's going to be in something soon, and I just can't remember what it is. But he was into All the Boys series, and he was in XO Kitty actually last season, the season before this one. And then Jacob Elordi was known for like The Kissing Booth, which, by the way, some of the worst teen dramas. Oh, anything before that? Oh, that's crazy. Who is he? He's going to be in Street Fighter. When does that come out?
This year.
I don't care much for Street Fighter. I'm sorry. I'm more of a Mortal Kombat girl. What else has he been in? Is that all his stuff? I remember he was in Black Adam. Who the fuck was he in Black Adam? I saw Black Adam. I went to the premiere of Black Adam.
Adam Smasher?
I don't know. Oh, I don't remember. I mean, I know who the Adam Smasher is. I just don't remember him.
He was in Austin Alley.
I don't remember. He probably guest starred. Let's see. I mean, the other thing that I remember him from, even though I never watched it, was The Fosters, because you know he replaced JT Austin from Wizards.
Really?
They do not look alike, so I don't know how they thought that switch up was going to work, but whatever. I don't know how we got into a conversation. Oh, because we're never reviewing The Kissing Booth, by the way, because I hate those movies so much with like a burning passion. Like I tried watching it the other day. Could not get through it. I watched the scene from it and I was like, the lead character in this is insufferable. She is worse than like a lot of the characters. Like this is probably the downfall of the teen drama movies. Like literally. So it's 5, I will say, so 5 letters. One of them goes to Margot's ex-boyfriend, Josh. One goes to Peter. One goes to a boy named Lucas, who I thought it was really, really funny because he goes up to Lara Jean because the letters get mailed out and she gets confronted by all three. Oh, about to get confronted by all 3 of them in one day. But Lucas goes up to her. He goes, "Oh yeah, the middle school dance." She goes, "Lara Jean, you know that I'm gay, right?" Like, or no, something along those like, I'm sorry, but like I'm like saying that he's like gay and that, you know, he thinks she's great, but. And I just was like looking like I felt like her on this thing because he's like, "Yeah, I know, I wrote that years ago. Like my guy, it's not about now. You're good." But I do think it's cute that they do become friends afterwards because they go on the school trip together, the ski trip together, and they end up sharing a room. And he's kind of like the one being like to let her like realize that like, hey, you know he likes you, right? Because Lara Jean kind of like doesn't realize right off the bat that Peter seems to really like her. But it's kind of like a two-way thing. Like Peter obviously likes her, but he's so hooked up on his ex-girlfriend that it's just like, what are you doing? Oh, which by the way, I guess let's get into it. So she writes these letters. Josh gets one, and she doesn't want to confront him about it because obviously Margot just left for college, and it would be super awkward, you know, because as it would be when having a crush on your sister's ex-boyfriend, especially your older sister. And so she kisses Peter on the lawn, which, like, remember, people, consent is important. We don't just kiss people, right, Lilia? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so the whole plot point of this film, like the main plot point, is that her and Peter agree to do a fake to kind of be in a fake relationship, so that one, she can avoid having the talk with Josh about the letter and kind of play it off as nothing, because she technically still does have feelings for him. It's just maybe not as strong as it used to be. And then in Peter's half is that he wants to get back with his ex-girlfriend, who's apparently her Lara Jean's ex-friend, who, my God, it's been a while since I've been a teenager, but it's kind of crazy to me why they are no longer friends. And it's kind of like a one-sided, like, homegirl, I think her name is Jean or something. I can't remember, because why the fuck would I? She kind of gets mad at Lara Jean for kissing Peter at a middle school party during Spin the Bottle. Being like, you knew I liked him. And it's like, girly pop, that was in middle school. Like, let's relax for a minute. But I guess teenagers will be teenagers. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But also, like, she went off with a college boy. Can I just say, that is the crazy part to me, is these kind of weird age gap relationships. So the relationship between Lara Jean's sister, Margot, and Josh, okay, because technically they're like 2 years apart. But what do you mean there's a high schooler dating a college student? Like, at least those two broke up. How old is this college student? Should we be concerned? Because I feel like we should be concerned. But that's besides the point. I also love that the dad is the guy from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. He's in OBG. He's a guy now. Yeah. And the only reason I want to point out that I watched that whole film, and it wasn't until Lara Jean's best friend, who, by the way, is the cousin of Peter's ex-girlfriend / Lara Jean's ex-best friend, Jean. This is like crazy. The only reason I figured out that he was an OBG was the fact that, like, she goes up and she goes, listen, I'm not trying to, like, mansplain or anything. I understand you need to put food on the table, keep a roof over your head. But you being, like, basically being like, it's kind of like weird that you're an OBG, but in a funny way. And I was like, oh, so that makes sense why he was, like, talking about bringing it. Like, I was like, I did not click for me. I did not pay attention to this man at all. One bit. Right, this movie. But I will say the family does have this little cute dynamic that it kind of makes sense why she would feel so scared to reveal to her sister that, like, hey, I've had a crush on your boyfriend for a while. I feel like I'm going beat for beat with this movie, but not really. But also, I don't really know. Oh, you know what else was weird about this movie, though, Lilia? I don't know. Maybe this is one of those, like, it's such a good teen movie, but maybe I haven't watched enough teen movies lately that they go on a ski trip for the school. I don't think there was a chaperone. I'm pretty sure they make it that the Vine actor was the chaperone. Because what do you mean she's saying to us on the screen that, like, oh yeah, the ski trip where more people have lost their virginity between this and that. And I'm like, what do you mean lost their virginity on a ski trip funded by the school? Are you fucking insane? What is wrong with you kids? Oh my God. Like, that is so weird. And she gets in a hot tub with him. And I'm like, Lara Jean, don't do it. You're in a fake relationship. They signed a contract and everything. I'm like, girl, oh my God. You know what it was? It was one of those type of stories where I was just like, you know, he's so hung up on his ex. I didn't want them to get together. I knew they were going to be, and I'm sure the relationship develops better in the next two films. And from what we've heard snippets of in Exo Kitty. But it's just kind of one of those things where I'm just like, if you really liked her, which I'm assuming it was what's going on here, you could have just asked her out. I feel like relationships shouldn't have started with the contract thing. The fact that they got so together rather quickly afterwards, maybe that bothers me. I don't know. Maybe I feel like that's so... I don't know. It was weird. Like, Peter was too into his ex to the point where, like, they go to a party and he takes off Lara Jean's scrunchie so that he could, like, tell her, like, keep her hair loose to have a certain style. And then the ex takes the scrunchie and he never gets it back. But he's actually constantly talking to her on the phone and visiting her room at the ski trip. I'm like, I'm sorry. Why did you let her keep the fucking scrunchie? That's such a red flag to me. I don't know. It's listen, you know what? Like I said, it's better than most of the rom-coms. You know what's funny? I'm pretty sure the other series that's, like, big in the teen world is that show on Amazon. What is it called? Do you know which one I'm talking about? The Summer I Turned Pretty. Have you heard that one? So that one is a TV series and it's also getting a movie. And I've heard the main character on that one is terrible. Like, she's... Like, I'm never going to watch it because I can't. spend a whole... I have too many things to watch. But I just feel like in a lot of these I don't know, maybe it's the writer, Jenny Han. Let me tell you, like I said, the first book I really liked. I haven't read the second or third one. I actually had them and then not got rid of them, but donated them because I just had too many books. I had bought them when this Barnes & Noble was going under business. I kind of wish, I think they had I wonder if they had movie tie-in covers. I would like those. But my problem with the fact that, okay, she gets together with this boy who's obsessed with his ex, and then we're looking at The Summer I Turned Pretty. So from what I gathered from the show, right, it's about a girl named Belle, whatever, and she's in love with a pair of cousins. Not a pair of cousins, a pair of brothers who are kind of like her cousins because their moms were best friends and this whole thing. And it's always been which brother she's going to end up with. And I'm kind of just why? Why is this a plot? Why are we debating which brother to get with? Why are we getting with boys that we go into fake dating contracts with when they're clearly still obsessed with their ex and making bad decisions? I know they're teenagers, but this is what I mean. We shouldn't set these to be the standards for girls. The standard should be to do better. Set high expectations for yourself. Don't date within the family. Don't date family members. No, wait, let me word that better. Don't date a guy and then date his family member afterwards, especially if it's his brother. Well, it's wrong. You're going to fuck up a relationship. There's no way that could go right in any way, okay? Because, when you think about it, you're dating a guy, you break up, and then you turn around and start dating his brother. That's kind of fucked up. I don't know how this got into a tangent to The Summer I Turned Pretty when this is about 12 the Boys at Level 4. Maybe because it's a really short film. It really was so cute, though. You know what? I really did like it. I think it's just... I think that's what's so good about teen dramas is that you kind of have to talk about the ridiculousness of all of it. And very clearly, the most important thing you're supposed to learn is the relationships you sometimes have in high school don't always last. And it's sometimes for the best. Although Kitty and Peter very clearly stayed together way after high school. I digress, but what are you going to do when you're making 3 films and then a whole TV series? You kind of need to have the main couple that started it all stay together. But I don't know. If I was writing this, they would not have ended up together. She would have ended up with someone else. Not Josh, though. I need to watch the second one. Do you have any thoughts, Lilia?
This movie sounds scary.
I mean, it sounds like a typical teen rom-com, which they are. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a teen rom-com that's not Mean Girls. Because Mean Girls is a teen movie, but when you think about it, does it feel like a teen movie? Not
really. It feels more like a satire of a teen movie.
Yeah. I feel like that's definitely one I want to talk about at some point. But so when you let's look up teen rom-coms and try to compare this to something else. I want to point out my favorite is that the first one to come out when I look up teen rom-coms is To All the Boys I've Loved Before and The Kissing Booth. All right, Lilia. Damn. It's funny. I'm looking at this list of teen rom-coms, and most of them are from Disney. And it's I don't know how Legally Blonde is a teen rom-com, but, I digress.
It's not a college movie.
Yeah. What a Girl Wants is a good one.
I think I saw that one by accident.
How does...
with the girl who wanted to lose her virginity?
What a Girl Wants? No, that's Easy A.
Oh.
The What a Girl Wants is the one about the girl. It's played by Amanda Bynes, who discovers that her dad is actually this politician in the UK and goes off to find him.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that one.
It's kind of funny because when you look at that list, this really was a more simplified one. I guess because when you look at it, a lot of them are just adaptions. It's just 4 Cinderella stories on there. Mm-hmm. Which is not crazy. I guess the other one that's a book adaptation is The Princess Diaries. But that's very much she turns into a princess type of thing. But this is a very simple, small town girl, fake dates a boy. There's not much more for me to say about this. I think we can wrap this up. What do you think, Lilia? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a fun little movie. It's a fun little short episode. I just really enjoyed it and I wanted to talk about it because this is what this podcast is about. Fangirling about fun things. And, Lana, is it Condor, I think is her last name, who plays Lara Jean. She's pretty good. I haven't seen her in much lately. besides the one cameo in XO Kitty. I think she was like in an X-Men movie as like Jubilee, which I remember she was totally underutilized, and I'm pretty sure she only had like 5 seconds in the whole fucking film, which to me is kind of crazy. Oh, she was in did we talk about this? Pretty Lethal. Oh no, this was a film that was coming out around the time that like I think I kept confused seeing this one being advertised, but I kept confusing it for that one about the witches that starred that Lily Rothenberg. Remember when we were talking about it because it came out around the time when she was in Swim, the BTS video. Mm-hmm. Do you know what movie she was in this year that I forgot just like now, just remembering? Mm-hmm. She was in the Coyote versus Acne.
Oh, I want to watch that so badly.
I keep forgetting she's in it. Well, not keep forgetting because let's face it, this movie was so underrated. Did you ever hear the drama about that film?
Yeah, it made me sad and angry.
I know. And then some guy, I thought it was so funny that one guy went up in front of Warner Brothers and like protested the release of this film wearing a Wile E. Coyote outfit. And he got his wish. Yeah. And that's why, you know, never back down?
Yeah. Never back down.
Down, never what?
Never give up.
That's a good one. Maybe we should review that one.
I would love to. I love that.
But I guess that kind of wraps it for this. I give this film a 7 out of 10.
Ooh.
Shut up. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. No, because it's not terrible, but I feel like I do give a lot of 6 out of 10. I feel like that's my go-to number, but I feel like 7 out of 10 is actually better. It's a better review for this one. I wonder how the sequels bear. I wonder if they're any better. XO Kitty's not that great.
Oh.
It's not horrible, but it like draws you in. I don't know. We'll review it at some point. So our song for the week is going to be Magic by Nayeon featuring Julie of Kiss of Life. I know Kiss of Life isn't everyone's cup of tea because they're horrible girls who've done horrible things. But I can't deny that this song, it's mostly a Nayeon song. It's actually really, really good. It's from her album, An A. So I really enjoyed it. I think it fits the vibe of the film. It's a vibe. So yeah, I guess that's it for this week's episode. And see you guys next week. Bye. All right, guys, that's it for this entry. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts. On Twitter, you can find us at FG Diaries Pod. On Tumblr, TikTok, and Instagram, you'll find us at FG Diaries Podcast. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And hope you all have a wonderful fangirly day.